Welcome to the Hollywood Heroine podcast. All things pop culture, gossip, Kardashians, Real Housewives, reality TV. It's an addiction and we want to talk about it all. New episodes every Wednesday and follow us on our Instagram account at the Hollywood Heroine with an E at the end. I want to hear what you guys have to say about the crazy pop culture world we are obsessed with. Okay, everyone, we are back for another week of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're going to be recapping also Miami's finale at the end of this episode, so stick around for the end of the podcast. So we're resuming the party at Jennifer's in New Jersey. Before we get into it, I want to ask you real quick, after this episode, are you Team Jen, are you Team Melissa, or are you Team Neutral?
I don't even know what's going on, to be honest. It was such a kerfuffle that after this episode, I'm I don't even know what to think anymore. I think I'm neutral at this point.
Yeah, I could see that. And I could see, I started being Team Jen. And mind you, I've never been Team Jen. So I'm not this huge Jen Aydin fan. But I do feel thus far, she's been definitely carrying the season. And my little picture on Instagram blew up because it was a picture of Louis and Jen holding up a box that said Rajay season 12. Because it's true. It's all Jen's drama and all Louis' drama. So anyways, at some point, I definitely was Team Jen. This fight, I felt like Melissa just needed her 12 minutes of fame. She got into the action and then it didn't really make sense. I was like, wait, why are you guys fighting?
I know.
And then it got really dirty at the end. Even at the end, Jen kept going and I was like, okay, now it's getting a little too dirty. Let's just end this. Let's be done with this.
Yeah. I didn't like the way Jen dealt with the situation.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So basically we left off the episode last week with Teresa storming out of Jen's beach house. And it's Teresa's party that night. So it's where did this bitch go? Is she going to come back? Jen's this
sorry.
is her party. So she leaves. So Jen's calling Bill. Bill's I'm on my way. I'm almost there. And right from the top of the episode, Jen's rule of not drinking this season went out the window because she pours herself a drink. She's I need this.
I forgot she said that.
Bill's oh, okay. He's I gotta deal with this whole after.
I need it.
Yeah. So then everyone arrives at Jen's beach house. Still Teresa, we don't know what her status is, and they haven't shown her anything. Marge comes in, and she says very plainly, she's this isn't about Bill. This is about how Jen chastises women, particularly me. That's her beef with Jen. Yeah. What did you feel about Bill this whole episode? Because I felt he was acting very I don't know if weird's the right word. I just kind of felt sorry for him, and he was kind of on the outskirts the whole time.
I think he feels extremely awkward because the nature of what they're fighting about is basically his infidelity, which he doesn't seem like he wants to talk about. But then he's not really coming to Jen's defense, but he's not telling her to stop either. He's just frozen in inaction. It's just doesn't know how to deal.
It's one of those things where it becomes your storyline. It's not even her storyline. It is her storyline. Obviously it's Jen's, but it's Bill's obviously wrongdoing. Exactly. And it's the same thing with Jen calling Joe a crook. They kept showing that goddamn Instagram post that they highlight crook 50 times. Guys, you repeat that every single time you bring it up. Jen just said it once, but you keep bringing it up. Not everyone knows that you might be a crook. So it's the detriment is to your own thing because you keep bringing it up. She only brought it up that one time in the reunion or in her post. So yeah,
whatever. I just feel their way of being part of the drama.
Totally, 100%. They just keep bringing it up, and it's the same thing. And I did get annoyed because I felt we're just recycling the same drama. Anyways, we'll get to that later. So that's what Marge says when she walks in. Jen tells everyone, by the way, Teresa left my house. She just stormed out. She was really upset. I don't know what it's about. Probably about Louis. So everyone's oh my God. Marge is okay, but where's the food? Did Teresa take the food with her? And Jen's no, there's still food, we're gonna eat, whatever. And they all eat, they go downstairs, they grab a drink, they sit on the downstairs patio, whatever. Melissa starts by saying, wow, this is so surprising. I'm at your house, to Jen. And we're all just chilling. And then it cuts back to footage from the reunion, and Jennifer's calling Melissa self-absorbed when Andy had asked her, oh, you want a fourth kid, whatever. And Jen's she can't have a fourth kid. She's too self-absorbed. And Jen's wow, I didn't realize you were going to get that offended. I know there's so many Jennifer haters out there. She does instigate, but that's the that's why we're here. Like, she's instigating for like the next season's drama. So like, it was definitely very obvious that that's what she was trying to do. She's like creating drama for the upcoming season. Then it shows Teresa getting into the van with Louis. And the first thing she says is, there's cameras in here.
I know that. I took note of that. Like, they're just being so conscious about
appearances and like being on, and like as if he's gonna say something incriminating. Like, what's he gonna say? Anyways, Teresa says it's Margaret's fault because she keeps talking behind my back. Like, she keeps talking about this Louis thing and whatever, and just like, you know, judging Louis. Teresa says nobody should be judging anybody, especially on their past. And I'm just like, girl, like, we could cut to so many moments where you judge every single person about their past. Melissa being a potential stripper or dancer.
Oh yeah.
Danielle being engaged 15 times? What was it?
Yeah. Something
like,
crazy.
You always judge everyone about their past. Like, what are you talking about? So everyone's like sitting at Jen's, and then Tracy's like, hey.
Oh my God.
Melissa. And Melissa's like, what? And she's like, hey, are we gonna address the elephant in the room? And Melissa's like what? She's like, what's the elephant? Like, okay, just say it. If you have something to say, like, just say it. And then Marge is like, Teresa, Jennifer said, and then, I guess like Teresa like shows up and she's like, Jennifer said you left in a fit. And Teresa's like, no, I didn't. She's like, I didn't say that. She's like, no, I didn't do that. And everyone's like, okay, but you did. Like, you were obviously upset about something. Like, what was it?
Something. Exactly.
Yeah. And then Teresa brings up the fact that she's like, if there's stuff going on behind my back, just say it now. I want to know who's talking shit about me and my man. And Margaret says, nothing's going on behind your back. Everyone just wants to know about the video. Literally, it cuts to everyone else. Everyone's like, no, we're good. Like, we don't want to like Marge is trying to start shit. And she's like, everyone, it's not just me. Everyone's like Melissa's dead. I was quiet. Like, she's not saying anything.
No one's speaking up.
Yeah. I think Teresa says, oh, they're like, we're concerned about you. Like, we're concerned about Louis. And Teresa's like, why are you concerned? She's like, I've been going out with him for a year. She's like, I'm fine. And like, you know, I just focus on the present and I'm good. And even Jen like spoke up. She's like, I love Louis. He's so good. Like, she's just like backing up Teresa. And the entire time I felt so bad for Louis because like he's trying to explain himself and he's trying to speak up. Right. Like, she kept cutting him off.
Yeah. This was a crazy scene. Yeah.
He's like, okay, can I talk? She's like, babe, you don't have to say anything. You can do anything. He's like, no, but I'm okay to explain it. Like, I'm not intimidated. I'm good. I can talk. And then Marge is like yelling over him, this poor guy. And he's like getting more red and purple, like as the minutes go by, like he's freaking out. He's like, Teresa, I'm going to leave if you don't let me talk. And she's like, okay, like fine. Like, just say it, whatever. It's almost like she was scared for him to talk in case he said something that like just wasn't right.
Made it worse. Yeah. Like, they've been wanting him to say whatever it is and like acknowledge it and whatever. Now he's finally like getting the courage to like speak up. He's trying to say it and she keeps shutting him down. She's like, no, you don't owe anybody an explanation. He's like, okay, but I want to say something.
So that was my thing. And I want to ask you too, like that first episode when we were at the pool party at Teresa's, they're all talking about, they're like the video. And they're making it seem like he didn't want to talk about it, but clearly he's okay to talk about it. Like,
but I guess nobody was bringing it up to his face. And so he didn't have like, what is he going to say? Nobody's saying it. He's going to walk into a party and be like, so I know everybody's talking behind my back about this, so let me just address it. Like, that's awkward. But nobody, I don't think, addressed it to his face before. Totally. And so like, now it came up.
Yeah. And like, also he did tell Joe Judice about it. It's not like he's been keeping this a secret. He voluntarily shared that with him, that he's like, I went to this cool place. It's like a retreat, like whatever.
Yeah.
So Louis starts talking about it and he's like, let's just talk calmly. And I did appreciate like how calm he was. Like, if he is a shady person, he's acting very well. Like, I will say that he's very calm. He's very confident. He even says to Margaret, he's like, you on your best day wouldn't intimidate me.
Yeah.
And she was like, whoa, okay. Like, geez.
I really like that he said that.
Yeah. And then he explains everything. He says, I became a very good example in business. I can speak. And then Marge is like, I know you're such a good guy, like in business. And he's like, I can speak for myself. Like, shut the fuck up. And she's like, she was like taken aback again. Marge, I'm sorry. Like, I love her, but she annoyed me a lot this episode. And like, I feel like she has been annoying me for a long time.
She's been annoying me. 100%.
She keeps poking the bear. And I understand we're on a reality show. Like, you have to do that. But it's almost like to the point where I'm annoyed. Girl, get your own storyline. Like, stop like putting it on Louis and Teresa. Anyways, sorry.
Well, she just keeps making it about herself. Oh no, but that's the Jen issue.
That's the Jen issue. Yeah.
The Louis thing, she's just stirring
the
shit
pot.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, and fine, in this moment, she wants answers and he's answering it. So he says, I can speak for myself. He's like, I grew up with a lot of trauma in my life. And a lot of men go to this place to revisit their pain and get clarity in like uncertainty in their life. And at this point, I'm like, yo, this guy got me. Like, I am buying into this. I love this reason. Who is this man? He's so cool. And he goes, I had to learn to be a vulnerable to that woman that I was seeing because I didn't want to commit to marriage with her. And he goes on to say, I didn't want to commit to a bad woman. And here's where I start being like, huh?
What?
Yeah. And like literally it cuts to like Jackie's face, Marge's face, like everyone's like, huh? Like, and it took me until Jackie was like, wait, what the fuck are we talking about? She's like, did we watch the same video? Because she's like, in the video that I saw, you were asking the woman for forgiveness and you were asking her to marry you.
Yeah.
So where the F did this go sideways?
I was like disappointed in him saying that because like I felt like he was going, I was like, yes, he's showing himself. He's showing that he can stand up and speak for himself and he's going to be upfront. And then like, he just twisted it around.
Yeah.
And now I'm confused again. And like, are you being shady or did we not see everything that was happening in that video? But like, he basically said the opposite of what that video looked like was happening.
We all saw the video. Why are you lying about it? Like, it's very easy to pull the video back up. And even Marge is like, he was proposing in the video and now he's saying it was a breakup video. Like, no, this shit doesn't make sense. And that's where I stopped and I was like, okay, I think this guy is shady. Like, he's trying to like spin the truth a little bit. You can't even blame it on like bad editing because like it wasn't edited. No. It was just him saying his reasoning for what that was. I guess like a part of it is, yes, it's a retreat. You go there to get clarity. Like you go there to like whatever, but like you're blaming it on a woman. You're saying that she's the bad person. So, but that's not the case. So like, it's like a weird turn. I didn't appreciate how he like called her a bad woman and he was like kind of insulting her. If you truly got clarity and you truly learned to forgive people, you wouldn't have labeled her in that way. But he does say, he's like, she's just trying to like embarrass me now that I'm like in the spotlight. And she's like bringing the video back to light, basically. That's what he says.
Who is this? Like an ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, ex-girlfriend or ex-fiance maybe, because he was saying he wanted to marry her.
Right. Maybe Teresa knows what actually happened and it's not very complimentary. And so that's why she was trying to get him to not talk.
Right. No, for sure. And I think that's 100% why she was stopping him. But again, to like everyone's thing, like we saw the video, we know what really you were saying. So like for you to come and say like it was about this bad woman, like that doesn't really line up to the story that you were saying in the video. So anyways.
Yeah. So it makes him look a little bit of a liar, which sucks.
Yeah. And my question for you is, why in this moment didn't anyone bring that up? Like they all just buy the story.
I don't know. I feel like things went left so quickly right after this and went into the Jen story. So like, I feel like people didn't have the time to absorb it. I feel like just like us, like they were happy that he was finally speaking up and then they got confused.
I feel like it happened. Like you could see like Jackie's wheels turning and she's like, oh, it like came to her like an hour later. But these are the moments where I wish I could see the raw footage. Cause it's like, how did this transpire? Like when did this segue into like the next fight? Because like, yeah, like, you guys all saw the video. It wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, but it didn't make sense.
Yeah, but I guess they didn't put two and two together until after the fact, or like who knows, whatever. So then it cuts from that right away, like barely his story is like finished. It cuts to Teresa's like, I just don't like people gossiping, and Joe's like, why are you mad at people gossiping? Like we're literally on a reality show. Like this is what we do. And then he brings up Jen. He's like, even Jen gossips about me, calling me a crook, this that. And then Teresa, like classic Teresa, deflects, and she's like, well, you hang out with Margaret. That's not what he was saying. She's like, well, you hang out with Margaret and like she's talking shit. And then Margaret's like, but what did I do? Like, what am I doing that like it's so bad? And Teresa's like, you went after Jen, like you've been talking shit about me. And then Jen turns to Marge and things just basically go backwards. And Jen's like, I can't believe what you did to me. It was so cruel. And it's like, I thought we got over this. Like, I thought we were past this. And Jen just brings it all back. And Jen's like, I don't go digging for shit or like for gossip. It kind of like what you did to me and Bill.
Yeah.
You were like digging, which isn't quite true. Well,
was she digging?
In this situation, I don't think she was fishing, but I think she has fished in the past.
Yeah, I was just going to say like I don't think we ever learned how the other women like Marge and Jackie like knew about the Bill situation.
Yeah.
Like
They just heard it. They're like, we heard it around town. Like everyone already knew about this.
So they weren't really digging.
True.
From what we understand, like they just came across it and she just kind of threw it in her face because of she felt being attacked. So like, were they really digging?
They weren't digging, but they did expose it. They did expose something that already wasn't really exposed. And I get that. But, you know, you're on a reality show, like shit's going to go down. Like you have to be prepared for it. And then Melissa speaks up and Melissa's like, okay, I got to get in on this fight. She's like, I haven't had drama in like a couple episodes. So she's like, yeah, you did. You were trying to find out who Evan was basically screwing like at the gym, like you were digging for that. Then that starts a whole fight with like Frank. Poor Frank's like just trying to sit there, like enjoy his like drink, and he gets like pulled in. He's like, no, like I'm out.
He's like, no, I don't know nothing.
And then Jackie's like, yeah, exactly. She's like, she would have exposed my marriage. She's like, you were trying to hurt me and like Evan and like all these things. And then like Tiki arrives in like in the middle of everything.
I was just gonna say. I'm like, hold on, is this when Tiki arrives? Like,
and then like Tiki comes and like nobody flinches. Melissa has to be like, hey Tiki, and he's like, oh god, like what did I come into?
It started already.
Yeah, it started. Melissa is like basically just like yelling at Jen. She's like, she just sounds like a fucking hater. She's like, you called my husband a crook, and like all this other drama just starts, and it's like everyone's just pointing the finger at each other. Like at this point, I'm like, I don't even know what we're fighting about. Like, what do you, how do you want to resolve this? Cause like, I don't understand what the issue is. And Jen says, she stops there. She's like, I'm going to address the crooked thing. She's like, it was all hearsay. She's like, I didn't really say it. She's like, it's just things that I heard, which to her point is kind of true because they cut back to that flashback from that party, Evan's party. And that random real estate agent basically told Jennifer that she's like, I heard that Joe doesn't pay like his like bills or stuff.
No, she was saying Joe did business with her husband, and didn't pay them. So like it was pretty like a direct information.
And like Jen didn't ask about that. Jen didn't ask that. She was literally just told by that girl. So like I get that. Like she didn't ask to, but like did she have to go in and like call them a crook? No. But then Jen explains it. She's like, you went after me after that reunion. Like so like Jen's like to Melissa, you went after me. And Melissa did. I remember seeing that post after the reunion, and Melissa like tore like a huge essay, and basically like you could tell it was about Jen. I was like, what the F happened that like Melissa's so mad at Jen? And Jen was like, that was my retaliation to like call your husband a crook. And then Melissa basically like just freaks out. She gets up and like walks very like aggressively towards Jen. Where like I thought she was gonna box her out. And then Jen like gets in her face because that's what I would do too. Like you're defending yourself. And then like security gets involved, like all the guys get involved, like everyone starts getting involved. Like there's no punches being like, no one got like punched in the face, but like they're just like screaming at each other. And it's just like a lot of back and forth. Like Melissa's like, I hate this bitch. Like she always gets to a fight with me. And then all of this, like the camera kept cutting back to Bill, and like he was just like standing around. And so what did you think about his reaction and like where he was and his involvement with all of this?
At that point, like I know you're not trying to get like, first of all of this is very messy. I don't even know who's fighting about what anymore. Like they're all doing the same things to each other and just continuously calling each other out for doing the same things. They're all equally at fault in my opinion at this point. But now like Melissa really did get up to like kind of charge at Jen. Like even if she wasn't going to hit her, like got up very, very aggressive. And at that point when like your wife is at this point being like kind of physically threatened, what are you doing over there, Bill? Like
100%.
Poor girl's fighting. Poor girl. I don't know, whatever, poor girl, maybe not. But in this moment, your wife is like getting into this because of you at the end of the day. And you're just standing there in the corner. Like it was at that point he needed to step in, and I don't understand why he didn't.
Yeah, totally. And I was like thinking about it in my perspective. I was like, what would like my husband do? And it's true. Like I would be upset if like my husband didn't at least come over to be like, are you good? Like, like try to protect me physically. When it's when it's like a screaming match, like it's different because it's like just women like yelling at each other. But like the minute like things get physical and like security was there, you know, he didn't. I was a little kind of let down a little bit by his reaction.
Me too.
But I just think he's like super embarrassed. I really think he like wants us all to be gone, and I think he's just he's embarrassed.
I'm sure he is very embarrassed. The fact that their families didn't know, nobody knew. And now it's like on TV, they keep fighting about it. I think he's just like so embarrassed. He just like doesn't know what to do with himself. But I'm sorry, when your wife is being physically threatened, you need to step in.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
For sure. And then even Jackie like gets in on the action. She's like, I'm done with her. She's like, I don't want to help her out anymore. And then Jen hears this. She's like, well, fuck you, Jackie. She's like, you didn't even like do anything. She's like, you even said that like Bill just like stuck his dick into someone else. And then Jackie says, and he did. And I was like, Jackie, you don't need to say that. I was like, girl, because we as the audience, and we did talk about this last week too, we know that what Dolores told Jen about what Jackie said was taken out of context.
It was
100%.
She was saying it in defense of her. It's not
very fair. Like we already knew that, but for Jackie to be like, and he did, I was like, oh girl, like that's just like savage. Like, come on. But again, everyone's just like popping off on like everyone. So then they leave, like Jackie, Marge, Melissa, they all leave. Tracy, like who F cares about her? Dolores sticks around, and Jen's like to Jackie, she's like, you even tried to like ruin my relationship with like her, like pointing to Dolores. And Dolores is like, I know. She's like, I'm your friend, like I'll be here, whatever. So Dolores, Teresa, and Jen do stay back and like just like comfort like Jen. And then in the car real quick, Melissa's like to Joe, she's like, yo, I'm so pissed. She's like, what the hell? Oh my god, we didn't even talk about the fact that like Jen calls Joe a bitch. What is a bitch girl? Little bitch girl.
Like
she's like, your husband's being a little bitch girl.
Which is, I think, what got Melissa going.
Yes.
Obviously.
And like Jen said
that was too much.
It was. Jen said that. And Jen can be very immature. And this is definitely like, so she calls Joe a little bitch girl for basically always getting involved in the girls' drama, which is true. Like, I feel like he doesn't need to get involved all the time. And then also the fact that like Melissa in her confession, she's like, look, that's just like, it took it too far. She's like, I would never call Bill that. I would never call any of the men little bitch girl. And it's true. Like, have some respect for the husbands as well. But all's fair because Joe does get involved. So, you know, in my opinion, it's fair. Yeah.
To me, like nobody's right or wrong at this point. They're all being equally immature and crazy 100%. At this point. Like when that scene finished, I was like, I don't even know what happened. It was
totally.
Like a kerfuffle. Yeah. I was like, what were they? I'm like, I don't even know what happened. I don't get it.
And Melissa says to Joe, she's like, what the F? She's like, your sister didn't even like flinch when Jen called him a little bitch, like girl, whatever. Yep. And everyone's like, yeah, obviously, like whatever. And it's true. Like Teresa, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, how is Melissa still surprised? Like, I'm not even surprised that Teresa doesn't give a shit. Like,
it's not that they're not surprised, but they know that if it was the other way around, she would have lost her shit, that they're not showing loyalty, always loyalty to the family. So they're like, how come she expects us? She puts us to such a high standard that we always have to defend her no matter what. But in your face, your friend is calling your brother a little bitch girl and you don't do anything. And we're not supposed to be upset about that.
Yeah, no, it's for sure. It's tight. Like
it's 100%. A big double standard.
And then it cuts back to Jen, and basically she's telling Teresa, like, if I make it all good, if I make this, like, if I make peace, I'm doing it for you. And yeah, like Teresa the whole time is getting messages from Melissa being like, why are you still there? Like, why didn't you leave with us? Like, why are you like still hanging out with Jen? And I don't know, if you ask me, I do feel like Jen and Teresa's relationship is very close. Like, they hang out all the time. They go to restaurants together with the husbands. Like, I think she feels close to Jen, and obviously Jen sucks up to her because that's her way into the show. I think
she has really nobody else.
Yeah, totally. So that's that fight. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Like, I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I felt like I got whiplash, and I'm like, they didn't even eat anything, right?
Yeah, they ate like quickly,
they sat down, they hadn't like had the meal, I don't think yet. Like they just sat down, they had a drink, went crazy. Like, I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, like I like when there's drama, but these guys they're like not friends anymore. It's sad.
I like when there's drama, but I do feel like this is stupid drama. Like, it's like from a post that was posted on the IG like 2 years ago almost. Like, guys, like make up something new. Like, they keep cutting to the same like crook line on that post. Like, I'm over it. Like, let's move on. The Louis thing is fine because like it's happening this season, but like everything else that happened in the last year's reunion, like I'm over it. Anyways, now we cut to the pink party at the Gorga's beach, like a Jersey house. Was Jen just not invited, or she just like chose not to go?
I think it was just like unspoken that like
she's not coming.
Like, Melissa obviously didn't want her to come. I don't think she told her like, no, you're not coming. And Jen like didn't. I think they just like unspoken understanding that like it's better that they don't.
Yeah,
because they both felt it.
So she's not gonna go to the pink party, but Teresa, Louis and Teresa end up leaving from Jen's house, and Jen's like, okay, like try to make peace, like good luck, and like Louis like, yeah, we'll try, like whatever. First of all, I just want to say shout out to the makeup in this episode because it was not on point on anyone's face. It must have been so fucking humid and hot. It was melting on everyone's face. Jennifer's makeup, I don't know what happened. It was like yellow and her skin's like white.
Yeah. Maybe it's because they got tan when they were outside or something, that like, you know, when you get tan, like
or almost like red
color, like
her face was like red because she was burnt and the foundation was like yellow and it was like, no girl, like, ugh, it looked really bad. I felt really bad for her. And just like everyone's face and like was hot and like sticky and like sweaty and like
it's not the time to wear full coverage
foundation. Yeah, just like be real. Anyways, we cut to Melissa's party. Everything looks effing amazing. The food looked so good and like so pretty and like watermelon. I'm like, I just can't wait for summer. I'm so excited. So everyone shows up. Melissa goes to Dolores and she's like, what the F happened last night? Like, what else did Jen say like after we left? And Dolores says, yeah, Jen was very upset. She goes, you charged at her like very aggressively, like you were gonna hit her. Honestly, like I'm not surprised. Like I would have hit you back. Like if that was me and you came charging at me, she's like, I would have hit you back like that. And then she turns to Jackie and she goes, Jackie, I thought you had empathy for her. Like what the F just happened? Like 1 week ago, like you were friends with her. And Jackie's like, yeah. And then she goes, yeah, I did have empathy for her. She's like, but like she's a brat. Like everything changed last night. And Jackie brings up the fact that she's like, you went to Jen and you told her that I said Bill stuck his dick into someone else to start a fight. Like, why would you do that? She's like, you took it out of context. She does say that. She goes, I didn't mean it like that. And Dolores is like, well, I don't know. She's like, that's how I heard it. She's like, no. She's like, you completely misconstrued the way I was saying it. She's like, I was saying it to like, I felt sorry for her. And it's kind of like on him. And Dolores is like, no, I didn't hear it that way. And I definitely do think like Dolores is just, she's stirring the pot too.
She is.
She just does it very well. Like she knows how to play these bitches. And then Jackie's like, I was standing by Jennifer. I felt bad for her until last night. And then Marge steps in and she's like, Dolores, how do you keep defending this girl? Like she's just like crazy. And Dolores is like, yeah, she is crazy, like whatever, but like you guys always gang up on her and like it's not fair. And she goes, Tracy, am I right? And I'm like, why are you bringing Tracy into this as if she's been around for years? Like I didn't understand it. And Tracy's like, okay, here's my moment. She's like, well, she should like, I can't with Tracy. I was even on Twitter and someone literally commented like, Tracy's the recapper of the episode. Like she recapped in real time. And I'm like, we've been describing her like that this whole time. What are your thoughts on that moment?
Well, I guess maybe she pointed to her as like an objective, like observer, because she doesn't really have skin in the game, whatever. But I just thought that was so funny because I again forgot Tracy was there. So when she points to Tracy's like, Tracy, she's like, but she's the one who kind of started this shit in the first place. She was ready, like even before leading up to going to Jen's house and like the shots of like her getting ready and like her commenting on the drama and like how it has to be. She was ready to go into Melissa's house. Like she was ready to like talk about it.
And it's weird because like in the beginning, she was the one that was kind of forgiving Jen. Like she felt sorry for Jen, but now she kind of like switched her position and she's like, F this, let's start the drama.
Well, at the end of the day, I guess she's Melissa's friend.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Right. So she's like holding her side of it. And I guess she now, maybe she heard a lot from Melissa previously about like the loyalty issue between Joe and Teresa and stuff. And she just saw it like played out. So she's like, here's my moment to like have something important to say. So she started talking about the Teresa and Joe thing.
Yeah. And she says like Tracy in that moment, she's like, yeah, Jen should have just said she's sorry. She's like, she never says she's sorry. Like she's not apologetic. Right. Then it cuts to we go inside. Everyone's like escaping the heat. They're like in the kitchen. And Louis and Teresa, I put Melissa down for some reason. Louis and Teresa, they're like, Jen feels really bad. Like she's at home, but like she told us like she feels really bad. And Joel is like, no, like that bitch is evil. Like she's just like an evil person. Like she likes to like create drama. And again, Teresa's like, but you like to hang around Margaret. And he's like, okay, like I'm not talking about that. Like,
but I don't even understand that. Just because Margaret brought up the video and so she's saying that like, oh, so she's evil too.
Yeah.
That's
like,
what she's trying to say.
Yeah. Like she's like, you hang around with shady people too, like Margaret. And Joel's like, but what did Margaret do? Like, I don't understand. And Joe's like, yeah, maybe she brought up the video And then now he's speaking to Louis. He's like, but she didn't call you a crook. Like she's asking about what the video is. Like she's not saying you're a crook, you're this, you're that. And even like Louis was like kind of agreeing. He's like, yeah, whatever. Like Joe's like, whatever. Like Jen's just like batshit crazy, whatever. And then Tracy's somehow there. Like she just like appears.
All right. This is
and then this is when she's like, oh my God. She's like, Joel, she's like, she called you a little bitch boy. Like that's not good. Like that's fucked up. She's like, that's like, you can't call people that. Teresa's like, who cares about the little bitch boy thing? And Tracy's like, well, you should. She's like, that's your brother. She's like, you guys are family. You have to stand up for your family. And I was like, yo, this is the fastest way to get cut off the show, bitch. Do not tell Teresa how she should run her family, what family means to her. Like, don't. And even Teresa says, she's like, in her confessional, she's like, somebody stop this bitch from running her mouth. Like, who is this person? Like, don't tell me how I should like run my family or like talk to my family.
Don't make enemies with Teresa like day one.
Yeah.
You're gonna get cut.
Yeah. And then Teresa starts to cry in the kitchen. She kind of is like, she says, she's like, I hate fighting with my family. I don't want to fight with my family. And she gets like emotional and she kind of like leaves the kitchen and like Louis follows her and whatever. And that's how the episode ends. I didn't understand why she got like so emotional like that. I guess she's frustrated. Like she doesn't know how to deal with things. That's the ultimate thing, right? Like she can't process anything like a normal human being, I feel like, or like an adult.
Yeah. And I think like she said, she's like, he's my only family. He's my only brother. I think she does really like not want to fight with them anymore. Like she really, really doesn't want to go there, but she's not doing the things that she expects from them. And it's not fair. Like she is hypocritical. Like if somebody had called Louis a bitch boy and, you know, Joel didn't stand up to it or whatever. Like if it was the reverse, like she would have been so angry. Yeah. She would have flipped out. She doesn't do that for him, but she doesn't want to fight with him either. So she just doesn't deal and she just leaves.
Yeah. So that's the end of the episode. I mean, Teresa did say like, cause when Joel was like, Jen's evil, Teresa's like, she's not evil. Like she's a nice person. It's just like, why would I be friends with someone who's like pure evil?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Teresa is sticking out for Jen too. So yeah, the episode ends there. We get a little preview of like next week's episode. We see Joe and Melissa's new house, like they're renovating their new house. This is a scene that pissed me off. In the promo for next week, Marge is talking to her mom. And again, she brings up Louis. She's like, there's more stuff on Louis on Instagram. No. This can't be your only storyline, girl.
Well, I guess she has nothing else going on.
There's nothing else going on.
What's going on in her life? Nothing.
Yeah. We also see Dolores talking to Jen and she asks Jen, are you still mad about the affair? And it cuts to Jen like having a crying face.
Yeah.
So that was kind of sad. And then it looks like the boys are out for dinner and then something happens with like Evan bringing up that whole thing last season. And it looks like Bill gets upset and he leaves the table.
Yeah. But then Evan also says like, yeah, fuck you, leave or something like that.
He's like, go.
Yeah.
He's like, just go then. Don't know what that's about. It looks like a good episode. Yeah. I don't know.
This one was like a crazy whirlwind. I was like, when it ended, I was like, I don't even know what happened. It was just some craziness. I had to rewind and like watch a few scenes again to like really understand what happened. It was really a big whirlwind.
Sometimes I feel like, look, they're on a reality show. They're going to fight. I understand that, right? There's going to be drama. Sometimes I do feel like I wish they answered and asked better questions so that we got really juicy information. Like in that moment when Louis talking about that thing, ask him. That's not what happened in the video. You were saying sorry to her. Like, let's talk about real shit. Or
instead of screaming about stuff from like last year, like let it go.
Or like when Jen and Melissa fought, Jen did say it. She's like, that was just retaliation from me because you went after me. Well, Melissa doesn't really like answer back. She just goes up to her and starts to fight her. So like,
right.
Nothing is really handled. Like, it's like you guys can't communicate properly or like have a normal, like a good fight where it's like juicy and it's like, oh, she's, you know, like, it's just like you storm off or you fight and then the scene's done.
Yeah. They and just like keep cut each other without actually talking about the issue that they're upset about.
Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen? It seems like Jen and Melissa are probably not going to get along this entire season.
No.
I don't see them like coming together. Okay, so is that good? Are you good for Ranjay for this week?
It's been fiery from episode 1, so I can't wait to see what else is gonna happen.
It's been fiery, and I have to say, I did a Twitter poll on my Twitter, and a lot of people are saying that they don't like Tracy because I was like, who is Tracy? And everyone's like, who is that? We don't even know who she is. So apparently Tracy got demoted to like friend of. Yeah. In
like
the middle of the season. I think so, yeah.
Is
so
she
maybe,
even in the intro?
I don't think she's in the intro, but maybe that's because like they were gonna like when they finally edited the whole
like
season,
as
maybe,
they were
like
filming.
Yeah, like maybe they were like, she's not enough. Like she's just not enough to be a full-time member.
Maybe they did end up following her life at like to try to, but then there was nothing.
Maybe, yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like they want to play it smart, and I bet you they're faking it for the camera. And the first thing you know is you can't fake it for the camera. They will know when you're faking shit, and you won't be interesting anymore.
Yeah.
The good shit happens when you're honest and when you're open in front of the camera and you expose everything. Like that's just how it is with reality TV.
I just don't think she's the right fit for this group of women.
No.
These women are like aggressive and fiery, and like I don't think she's the right fit.
I just don't think she's a fun person. I don't think she's a person who is okay with being honest about who she is and what she has done in her life. And in doing that, you're just putting up a front.
Yeah, like we're in episode 5 and we know nothing about you. So
nothing.
What's your purpose?
Yeah. Okay. So that's Ronjay. Oh, and I also want to say, I'm loving this, like these like Frank and Dolores like throwback stories because it makes me so happy, and I'm so intrigued of like who they were as a couple and like just like their relationship back in the day. Like I just find those like memories very cute. And yeah,
it killed me when she was talking about how he had slept over one New Year's when they were still dating, but like he was in the living room, like on the floor, like you know, and he woke up to her mom throwing holy water on him. I'm like, what the hell? That's hilarious.
Yeah. I also didn't know that they have a large, like I don't know if it's a large, but they have a year, like he's much older than her.
Oh, really?
I mean, the way she said it, she's like, I was dating a much older man. I was like,
maybe
how
at
much
that time,
more?
you know, when you're younger, like even like 5
if
years,
she was
15
years, and he
like,
was like 18. God. Yeah.
Well, true. Like even like 6 years at that time, it's like you're totally like different generation almost, like when you're that age. I'm sure now it's like the gap is closed.
Yeah. So those are cute little moments, and I do appreciate them and I do like them. And it sounds like you guys like the Twitterverse likes that too. Okay. So let's end with Ronjay there. Let's switch over to Miami because we're absolutely loving Miami. And this was the finale episode. A couple of big things that happened in this episode is the Alexia's bachelorette party at Versace Mansion. And the biggest thing that I think really happened is like Adriana is like on Larsa's ass. Like she cannot let her go. Like so many fights, like they fought that night. And then the next morning they had a brunch where like Larsa came back in the morning because I don't think she slept over. They fight again. Like Adriana again is like on Larsa. She's like, you are so fake. You came here. She's like, you went to LA and you made friends with Kim Kardashian. Then you no. And Larsa's like, okay, so what? Like, I moved on with my life. Like, and Adriana's like, you just think you're better than everyone. And Larsa's like, I legit did not say that at any point. And even it cuts to the other ladies and they're like, she's never said that to us. Like any other housewife is like, Larsa has never made us feel like she thinks she's better than us. So I just feel like, and you were saying this too, like Adriana, what do you think about her? She's annoying.
I don't get it. Like, is it like, did they have a really close friendship before? Like,
that's a good question because I asked myself the same thing. If anyone listening, if you guys really know, comment in our things, because I don't remember that from watching the first seasons. Maybe they were closer. And I just think Adriana's just jealous of Larsa. I think they were all Miami friends and Larsa went to LA and like became more famous and Adriana got jealous. I just think that's probably what it is.
I think that's what it is too. Or like, I don't know, maybe Adriana's going through a hard time and like so is Larsa, but she seems to be coming out of it like in a positive way. And maybe Adriana's like jealous about the way that Larsa's handling things. I don't get it because they never show Larsa being like that close, arrogant or no, like just having that arrogance against everybody else. Like,
she was making shit up from her ass, like 100%.
Yeah, like I like she's not being like that to anybody. I think she has been pretty humble, I guess, in their sense of like being humble, and she's just trying to like figure out her life and better herself. I don't think she's shoving it in anybody's face. I don't think she has anything to shove in anybody's face anyways. She's just like trying to move on from like her divorce and figure out where she's gonna live. And I don't understand Adriana's like constant. I just don't get it. It's either jealousy or maybe they had a close friendship before and she feels hurt that like Larsa dipped and like had this whole life and now is back. I don't get it. Because it's a really ugly look for Adriana.
100%. That's a perfect way to describe it. And I want to say the way Larsa conducted herself in this interaction, I was like, wow, Larsa has honestly, I feel like my MVP this season is Larsa because I didn't expect myself to like her as much as I do. And the way she held her own, like she was so calm. She was like, why are you asking about the Kardashians? Why are you bringing those people up? She's like, I don't want to talk about that. She didn't yell. She didn't like start like swearing. She wasn't like ratchet. And like every housewife should almost like learn from her. You can be very like eloquent in the way you have an argument with someone else. Like you don't have to call someone a little bitch boy. Yep. Like you don't need to get like that. And Larsa was like, I don't understand like why you're acting like I love the way Larsa reacted to Adriana, and it made Adriana just look more crazy. Honestly,
it did. And like even like when you say MVP about Larsa, like even in her confessionals where like, you know, sometimes they get dirtier about the way they talk about each other because like they're not talking to anybody. Even in her confessionals, she doesn't go dirty. She's like, I'm just trying to like get my life together. Like I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, she's trying like, to be mean at all. She's just like, I don't get it.
Yeah. She's like, I'm just trying to live my life. Why aren't you trying to live your life? Like, I'm just trying to live happy. And then like Adriana even brought up the fact that Larsa dated that guy, that like young Malik or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
She's like, then you went and dated Malik. It's like, okay, like
what is it to you?
What is it to you? Why are you jealous? It's like very, very just jealous. And it was Alexia's event. Alexia's like, bro, like I want to just talk about like drama. Like why are we like having this random ass fight? So I just feel like it wasn't a good look for Adriana. I think she was definitely instigating. She was trying to like pick a fight to have drama on the show. It just didn't work in her favor at all. And honestly, I think a lot of people are pleasantly surprised at how much they like Larsa on the show. So
yeah, I am. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then we basically are getting ready for Alexia's wedding. And this is like super exciting. Like everyone's getting prepared. She does say that her mom, like before the wedding, she's like, well, my mom got sick. She has COVID. Like she went to the hospital, but like maybe she's going to be okay. Like I still want to get married. Like we were kind of like in that vibe. And then it cuts to Guerdy's house, right? And I think at this point they've postponed the wedding because Guerdy's like, oh, I called the people, like some of the money we got back, some of it we didn't, because I guess like her mom was still sick at this point, so they weren't okay with like having the wedding.
Yeah.
So Guerdy's like, oh, I did this, I did that, and like she's talking to her husband, whatever. And then she looks at her phone and like my heart like sank because I knew what was coming and like I could see it on her face. She's like, oh my God. And the husband's like, what? And she's like, she passed away. And then he's like, what? And she's like, I'm getting a text. And then I started to cry. And like you said, you got emotional just seeing Guerdy's breakdown because it happened in stages. She was like, oh my God. And then like she was kind of shocked. She got up and then like she walked over to her husband and then she started to cry. Like it kind of like hit her in stages.
Yeah.
And she broke down and it was just a really like we haven't even heard from Alexia yet. And I'm already crying because I'm watching Guerdy cry.
Yeah. I was crying from that too. Like she was just like shocked. She's like it was supposed to be her wedding day today. Yeah. Like her mom died on her wedding day. Like how crazy is that? And she was like shocked and then she was like taking it in and she just started crying and made me cry too. Like this poor girl can't catch a break.
No, it's just unreal. So from that scene, I think what also ends up happening, this is a really nice scene too. I think Nicole and Marisol get on the phone or they FaceTime. I don't know what they did. They talk basically. And they basically like squash their beef because like they did have like a little bit of beef. I don't know if it was in this moment or like during the Versace mention, but like Marisol does tell Nicole, she's like, I know. She's like, I thought you were more like shady, but she's like, actually now I really like you. She's like, I know you're a good girl. She's like, you have a good heart. Like I was like, okay, Marisol, like I feel like Marisol was picking on Nicole just to have a bit of drama there, but I'm glad that they resolved it. Again, like they resolved it in like an episode, 2 episodes. And Marisol's like, no, I know you're a good girl. Like, I know you have a good heart. And Nicole's like, thank you. Like, she's like, by the way, like, what do you think about doing like a memorial at my house for Alexia and her mom? But I don't think Alexia was there, right?
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she wasn't there.
Because I think they did it the day of the wedding, which was when she passed away.
Yeah, true.
Because I think when Marisol and Nicole spoke, she hadn't passed yet. Like this was before.
Oh.
She had been, I think Nicole said her mom had been released from the hospital, but she was going home with hospice care, which means like basically like end of life care. So like they knew it was just a matter of time. Yeah. So they kind of arranged it. And then she did end up dying, I guess, like that day, the next day, whatever. So they had kind of arranged it, I think, for the day of the wedding, knowing it wasn't going to happen. But like, I don't think she had passed away yet when they had talked about it.
Yeah. So they do decide to do a memorial, which was really nice because Marisol was like, thank you, Nicole, for like planning it. Like, I don't have the energy like to do that right now. And so they all like show up at Nicole's house in black because it's a memorial and someone has just passed away, or like, you know, it's sad time, but leave it to Lisa to show up in a neon highlighter green dress.
She kills me, man.
Like, you can't hate her because she's so cute and like she laughs it off. She's like, oh my God, I fucked up. Like she right away was like, she's like, why wouldn't I wear black?
Like, why is everybody wearing black? And like she came in, okay, Marisol and Nicole, I think were like, it was Nicole's house and Marisol was there too. Okay, like they're wearing black. There was like two of them. But then everybody else who keeps coming in wearing black. She's like, every new person that comes in, she's like, oh my God. She's like, oh my God. Should I have been wearing black? I don't get it.
I'm gonna go home and like change. Like, I felt so bad for her because like I'm sure everyone's been in that situation where like not that situation, but like where like you just didn't wear the right thing to the thing. And I was like, oh, poor girl. But like, yeah, everyone's literally in black and she's like standing out in like highlighter green, like fucking Lisa.
It's like every time she's hugging somebody, all she's thinking is, oh my God, I'm not wearing black. Her face was like, fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, like, again, such a sweet moment. They like lit those like candle things and then like they released them. Like a very nice scene to have with the ladies.
It really made me feel like these ones are like real.
Oh my God,
in comparison to some of the other housewives like ones, like I don't know, it made me feel like these guys are real. They actually really care about each other. And it was a very touching moment. They did like a group hug. Like it was very sweet. Yeah.
So, and then there's the funeral. And we don't go into the funeral, but like the ladies are outside, I think like afterwards. And they wait for Alexia and Todd, and then they come, they're like, hug her, whatever. Oh, that this made me cry again too, just like seeing everyone cry when they saw Alexia, and they all hug her. I think here is sort of like where we end off. Like I think the season ends. I don't think Nicole was there. I think Nicole had to like work or something because like it's in the middle of the day or something.
Nicole had to work and Larsa wasn't there.
Yeah, Larsa was like in LA or something.
Everyone else was there, and this moment made me love Todd. You're
handsome
right. And cute. Yeah. And like they were just saying how like, oh, you're so lucky, like you have your rock with you at least. Yeah. And he just like he like went and stood behind her and like held her. And Alexia was saying too that she would never have been able to get through it. And when Alexia's confessional, when she said, you know, my mom knew it was the right time to go because she knew I had Todd and somebody to take care of me, whatever. That killed me and made me love him even more. They're really cute and I hope I really
hope they last. Me too. I think he is a good guy. And this sort of ends the season. It's a sort of bittersweet ending, but in a way to see these ladies come together for their friend, it was so heartwarming. And like, I was like, wow, a Housewives show can be very empowering for a group of women, like to show that like we are standing always beside you and like we're gonna be here for you like sisters. Like I don't know, the vibe of Miami just is different. Like yes, they got into fights, yes there was drama, but like the end result was always this really good feeling of like the sisterhood, and I love that about that season.
Me too. Even Julia said it really nice in her confessional that I guess she's like newer to the group, I think, and she was like, you know, moments like this make you realize like why you do need good girlfriends to like stand with you in these tough times, and like we do really care about each other. It was very heartwarming. So heartwarming. And then obviously the credits like the finishing credits roll. And then I think like Alexia's was first, and it was like they eloped, like her and Todd ended up eloping in like St. Lucia. And then like they were so dramatic. They're like, I know her marriage was short-lived. Her happiness was short-lived. I'm like, did they get divorced? Like I forgot. And then they're like, her son got arrested. I'm like, okay, like that's not her fault. Like, bro, like give this woman a break. Me too. Immediately, I was like, don't tell me they broke up already. Come on. After all that, and it was like, her son got arrested. I'm
like the color like drained from the freaking wedding shot. I'm like, what? It's like, okay, her son. Okay, but like it's not her like doing of that. Anyways.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to Nicole, and like Nicole's like living her best life. Like it shows that like she got engaged and like her house was like in AD magazine. And then Guerdy's like, oh, Guerdy's was so good because like Guerdy's was like, she's like named like the top like 5 best like wedding event planners in like Vogue magazine or something pretty crazy. So that's good. And then who else was there? Larsa was like, I'm living my best life. We also see Larsa finalize her divorce, which was like a really like nice scene. She got emotional. We got to see her sister. I didn't think she was gonna get like emotional like that. But her divorce with Scotty was finalized. She ended up selling that house that they like not grew up in, but like got married in and stuff.
Yeah.
Julia moved into that other house with her wife.
And they got a whole new farm, which I thought was so sick.
Oh, yeah. And then Lisa basically is like in the same boat. She's like, I don't want kids still. And then her husband's like, but I do. So that was just like how it ended. I really hope like next season we see more of Lisa. Like I want to see more depth in Lisa. Like I love her. I do love her, but I want to see a bit more depth and not this facade of a perfect marriage. Cause you guys clearly don't have a perfect marriage. Don't act like it. Like talk about your shit. Like truly be open with it. And like, we want to like know, like, you know, why are you guys still together? Kiki was there too. I don't remember
what Adriana's was.
Oh, Adriana's. I don't think they had one for her.
Right? I was thinking about how they ended it up, and I feel like they didn't.
They didn't because I posted the ending credits on the Instagram, and like there was no for Adriana, so I don't understand that.
Is that weird?
It's very weird. Like, is she not coming back next season? Like, I don't know.
Like, even I know Marisol's not a housewife technically.
Yeah.
Right? She doesn't have a whatever it is their thing. But they even like showed clips of her. It wasn't like her credits, but like they even showed clips of her like ending off the season, but they didn't even do it for Adriana.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird.
I don't know why.
So that's the ending. I love Miami. I really, really loved Miami.
Me too.
So really happy they brought it back.
Yeah. I'm excited for the reunion. Really excited.
Same. I think that's it, guys. I think what we definitely should do, because I don't know if you watched the first episode of the reunion for Salt Lake.
I did.
You did?
I did.
Yep, okay, so maybe what we can do is a smaller pod. Once we've watched all the reunions, we can do like a quick summary of like what happened. Because I will say, like, it was hyped as a very juicy reunion, and like I have to say, there wasn't a lot of juiciness in that first one.
I think it's gonna get crazier. I felt like the episode was so short for some reason.
Yeah, like it wasn't as hype as I wanted it to be, and it wasn't as like Jen heavy as I wanted it to be.
I think it's gonna get in. I think it's gonna get there. We'll see.
Okay. It was very like Lisa, Barlow, Heather like fighting. I was like, okay, I don't care about this though. Like, okay, so that we'll do that once we watch all of them, and we'll do like a quick recap for you guys.
Do you know how many it's gonna be? Like probably 3.
Probably 3, but like I haven't heard them say it yet, so I don't know for sure. But I do know that Jen Shah's court case, it was supposed to be in March. It got pushed to like June or something now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She like said that like she was supposed to appear in court this week in New York. Her lawyers basically said that like she can't fly, like she lives in Salt Lake. It's like too much for her. So the court was like, okay, we'll just push it to June. Who knows? Like, I don't know what excuse. Somebody in the comments I was reading, and someone was like, when you have good lawyers, you can literally keep the courts waiting for like years. Like just keep pushing it. Just find little
things here and there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I knew she was supposed to appear, and I knew that they were trying to say something like, oh, she was trying to get out of appearing, but I thought she meant like in person. I don't know. I didn't understand, but I didn't know the result of it, that it got pushed.
Yeah. I think that's it, guys. Still no news on New York City. Like I still don't understand like what's happening. Who's going to be on the show?
Did we talk about it? That like we heard that it might just be Ramona and Luann, which is no. I swear I saw a post about like 5 new women.
Oh,
I have to find it, but it was like 5 people never seen in my life.
Oh,
I have to find that post, but I don't know if it's true or not. But I saw a post that showed like 5 new women with Ramona and Luann.
So Sonia's not in it?
No.
Stop.
That's what I saw. I saw first I saw a picture of like the old, like the 5 of them, whatever, and like Ebony, Leah, and Sonya's face like crossed out, and then it was just Luann and Ramona. And then I saw another post of like whatever 7 women, 5 of them new, and then just Ramona and Luann.
Oh my god! So Leah's out, Sonya's out. Holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would they get rid of Sonya though?
Maybe she didn't want it.
There's no way she would not be on it.
I don't know. Maybe she's in rehab or something. I don't know. They were getting bad at the end of last season. Like they all needed to go to AA. Like they were all.
But why is Ramona still in it?
And I thought Luann was gonna not be in it and just be like, it's enough. I swear that's what they were making it seem like at the end of the last season, that she was kind of like done with this part of her life and she just like wanted something different. So I'm very surprised she's coming back actually. Yeah. And I'm very sad if it's true that Sonya's not coming back, because I love Sonya, definitely. All right, guys, if we hear anything else, we shall update you guys. I'm sure you'll hear it first because Bravo fans are on the prowl for more information. Okay, I think that's it. We talked it out. Until next week. Love ya. Love you.
Bye. Bye. And that is it, guys, for the podcast this week, covering off Ranjay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys loved my best friend / co-host. So let us know. Follow us on Instagram at the Hollywood Heroine with the E at the end. Comment, DM us. Let us know what you thought about the podcast. And if you can, guys, if you're listening, we're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. Drop us a review on iTunes. Let us know how we're doing, if you like us, and if you guys want more of this. So thank you so much. Bye.